Have you ever walked into a room and felt like no one even noticed you were there? You smile, you say hello, but it's like you've become part of the background. For many women over 60, that quiet sense of invisibility becomes all too familiar. And here's the thing. It's not because we've lost our beauty, our value, or our presence. It's often because the way we present ourselves has shifted, without us even realizing it. You see, as we age, we tend to simplify. We reach for what's comfortable, what's familiar. But in doing so, we sometimes let go of the very things that once helped us stand out, with grace, confidence, and style. And here's a surprising truth. Small style choices can have a big impact on how the world sees us and how we see ourselves. But the good news? These habits are easy to spot and even easier to fix. So let me ask you, when was the last time you felt truly seen? Not for what you were wearing, but for the energy and elegance you brought into the room. Today, I'll show you 5 common style mistakes that quietly make women over 60 fade into the background, and simple, beautiful fixes to help you feel confident, radiant, and yes, noticed again. Let's begin with the most misunderstood style staple of all, the color black. Mistake number 1, wearing too much black. Let's start with the color black. That old, familiar favorite hanging in nearly every closet. We've been taught that black is flattering, that it's slimming, that it's safe. And yes, for many years, it probably was. But past 60, something changes. Not in you, but in how black behaves on you. See, as we get older, our skin tends to lose contrast, hair softens into silver or white, our features become gentler. Black, a powerful, absorbing color, can actually drain us of warmth. It can make our skin look dull. It can deepen shadows under the eyes, harden the jawline, and draw attention to exactly the places we'd rather soften. And that's not just a feeling, it's backed by science. According to a 2021 article in Harvard Health Publishing, older adults who transitioned from solid black to softer dark tones like navy, charcoal, or deep burgundy, reported looking more refreshed and even more approachable. Turns out color can change how people interact with you. And it's not just research, it's real life. A woman named Sharon, one of our longtime viewers from Ohio, wrote me after watching our color video. She said, "I wore black my whole life. It was my safe color. But my daughter gently told me it was making me look tired." I didn't believe her, until I tried on a navy blouse one day while shopping. I looked in the mirror and gasped. I looked awake again. Sharon went on to say she donated half her black tops, and now wears jewel tones and navy on rotation. "People have actually started asking if I've been sleeping better," she laughed. I tell them, "No, I just changed my shirt." Black isn't the enemy. It just needs help now. So what can you do? Try replacing your go-to black pieces, especially those worn close to the face, with deep navy, soft wine, or rich gray. These shades still feel elegant and slimming, but they're kinder to mature skin. And if you love black, don't worry. Layer it with a colorful scarf, add a pearl necklace, or wear a blouse underneath that brightens your neckline. Black doesn't have to go. It just needs to be balanced. Take a peek at your wardrobe this week. Ask yourself, is black bringing out my glow or making me disappear? Because up next, we'll tackle the clothing mistake that doesn't just hide your shape. It hides your energy. Mistake number 2, baggy, shapeless clothing. Let's talk about comfort, because after 60, it matters more than ever. We want clothes that feel soft, move easily, and don't squeeze or pinch. But somewhere along the way, comfort quietly turned into camouflage. And that's where the mistake happens. Many women start choosing oversized, loose-fitting clothes not just for comfort, but to hide parts of themselves. The belly, the hips, the arms, the chest. You name it, and listen, I get it. We're told by magazines, commercials, even our own reflections, that we need to conceal the changes age brings. But here's the truth. Shapeless clothing doesn't just cover your body, it dulls your presence. When everything hangs and drapes without shape or intention, people's eyes don't know where to land. You lose your natural silhouette, and with it, the quiet energy that used to light up a room when you walked in. And more importantly, you feel it. Your posture slouches. Your confidence dips. You start to believe the message your outfit is sending. Don't look at me. In fact, Mayo Clinic research from 2022 found that clothing choice affects physical posture. Participants who wore gently structured clothing, like a fitted jacket or tailored cardigan, stood taller, walked more confidently, and even reported feeling more capable. It's not just about looking better. It's about feeling more awake inside your own skin. I'll never forget Marie from South Carolina, 67 years old and a retired nurse. She told me, "I used to wear big sweaters and oversized tees all the time. They were soft, they covered everything, but they made me feel invisible. My daughter took me shopping one afternoon and handed me a tailored blazer. I laughed and said, 'That's too dressy.' But I put it on, and suddenly I stood straighter. I looked taller. She looked at me and said, 'Mom, there you are?' That sentence stayed with her. There you are. Because the real Marie had been there all along, just hiding under a pile of well-meaning cotton. Here's the style secret. You don't need tight clothes. You need intentional ones. Clothes with a little shape, a bit of structure, something that says, 'I'm still here, and I still care.' Try a softly belted cardigan. A button-down shirt that follows your form, not clings to it. A wrap dress that creates a gentle waist, even if your real one has softened. And if you want a tiny, powerful transformation, try wearing a well-fitted blazer just once this week, even if it's just to grab lunch or run errands. Notice how your back straightens, how you feel a bit more visible, how people respond to you differently, maybe even with a smile. That's your mini challenge for the week. One outfit, one change, one reminder of the woman you still are. Coming up next, we'll look at a fashion mistake that feels cozy, but might be aging you faster than you think. It might even be hanging in your closet right now. Mistake number 3. Outdated prints and fabrics. Let's face it, our closets tell stories. Some pieces hold memories of vacations, weddings, or just that one afternoon when we felt beautiful. But sometimes, those old favorites are quietly working against us. Many women over 60 continue wearing clothing from 10, 20, even 30 years ago. And not because they can't find new clothes, but because those pieces are familiar, comfortable, and full of meaning. I understand that deeply. But there's a hidden cost. Outdated prints and stiff synthetic fabrics can instantly add years to your appearance, even if you feel young at heart. AARP's 2022 Style and Aging Study found something interesting. Seniors who updated their wardrobe with modern fabrics and subtle prints reported feeling more socially relevant. Their words, not mine. Why? Because clothing communicates before we even speak. Busy florals, dated plaids, or thick polyester blouses that were once in style now send a signal, not of nostalgia, but of disconnect. They say, "I've stopped keeping up." And I know that's not the message most women intend to send. Modern style doesn't mean trendy. It means choosing cleaner, more refined patterns, soft stripes, small geometric shapes, subtle textures that feel current but still classic. And the biggest transformation? Fabric. Swap stiff synthetics for breathable cotton blends, bamboo knits, or flowing rayon. These fabrics move with you. They soften your shape instead of clinging or ballooning. And they reflect light in a way that makes your skin look brighter, not duller. I remember meeting Grace, a 73-year-old retired librarian from Michigan. She had a favorite blouse, bold orange and brown paisley with shoulder pads and shiny buttons. "I wore this to my daughter's graduation in 1995, she told me proudly. But when she tried on a modern tunic in soft blue, with a gentle pattern and a lightweight fabric, her whole demeanor changed. "I feel like I lost 10 years, she whispered, smiling into the mirror. She later told me she didn't donate that old blouse. She kept it in a memory box. "It still means something to me," she said, "but I've learned that meaning doesn't always belong on my body." That's a powerful distinction. You're allowed to honor your memories without letting them define your style today. And chances are, if you're holding on to something just because you used to love it, but you never actually wear it anymore, it might be time to let it go. So, let me ask you, what's one item in your closet you've kept for nostalgia, but haven't worn in years? Would you consider replacing it with something that feels more like you today? Because coming up next, we're heading down to the feet, where many women unknowingly undo their whole look in the name of comfort. And trust me, there's a better way. Mistake number 4, prioritizing only comfort, ignoring style in shoes. Let's talk about an accessory we wear every day, sometimes all day, yet often give the least thought to when it comes to style. Our shoes. Now listen. No one's saying comfort isn't important. At 60, 70, even 80, we've earned the right to treat our feet with kindness. We've walked through decades of life, working, parenting, caregiving, living. Of course, we want something soft, supportive, and stable. But somewhere along the way, many of us start choosing only comfort. Bulky orthopedic shoes, worn-out sneakers, or shapeless slip-ons become our everyday go-tos, and while they may be easy on the feet, they often drag down the entire outfit. Here's the surprising truth. According to a 2022 study from Harvard Health, footwear doesn't just affect balance. It actually changes your posture, gait, and even how others perceive your confidence. People notice how you walk, how you carry yourself, and yes, what you're wearing on your feet. The wrong shoes can make your entire look feel dated, tired, or unfinished. But the right ones? They say, "I'm still here, and I still care." That doesn't mean switching to stilettos. It means finding the intersection of support and elegance. Look for styles with wide toe boxes, cushioned soles, and arch support, but in shapes and colors that reflect your energy. Soft gold loafers, navy ballet flats, neutral low wedges, even modern sneakers with a clean design and subtle color can make you look pulled together without sacrificing comfort. I remember Joan, a 66-year-old retired teacher from North Carolina. She told me, "I lived in my white orthopedic shoes for years. They were practical, and I figured, at my age, who's looking?" Then one day, her granddaughter gifted her a pair of soft rose gold flats with a padded insole. Joan wore them to brunch the next weekend and was stunned by the response. "3 people complimented my shoes," she laughed. "But more than that, I felt seen again." And she's not alone. Another viewer, Denise from Florida, emailed me recently. She'd battled chronic foot pain for years and felt like style was no longer an option. Then she found a pair of navy wedge sandals with memory foam. Supportive, stylish, and easy to wear. She wrote, "I wore them to the grocery store, and the cashier said, 'You've got great taste.' I almost cried. It wasn't about the shoes. It was about being noticed again after feeling invisible for so long." These stories matter because they remind us that even small changes, like updating a pair of shoes, can shift how we move through the world. So take a look at your footwear. Are your shoes supporting not just your feet, but your self-esteem? This week's mini challenge: swap out one tired pair for something that feels both comfortable and elegant. Try it on a walk or lunch date, and just notice how you feel. And speaking of things that help us feel seen, the final mistake is when many women don't even realize they're making. It's not about what you wear, it's what you leave out. Mistake number 5. Avoiding accessories altogether. Let's wrap things up with a quiet habit that often sneaks in as we age: the decision to stop wearing accessories altogether. It usually starts innocently. You're trying to simplify. You want to avoid looking too flashy or trying too hard. You pare down your earrings, skip the necklaces, toss the scarves in the drawer, and before you know it, you've unintentionally erased some of the most expressive parts of your style. Now, don't get me wrong, minimalism has its place, but for many women over 60, avoiding accessories doesn't make you look simpler. It makes you look invisible. Accessories do something remarkable. They frame your face. They reflect your personality. They catch the light, start conversations, and add a touch of polish that says, "I'm still showing up, with spirit." And science agrees. According to a 2022 article in Psychology Today, seniors who wore small accessories, like earrings, pins, scarves, or bold glasses, reported up to 35% more positive social interactions. Not because of vanity, but because accessories gave them a conversation starting point and made others feel more comfortable approaching them. And here's the deeper truth. When you put on something that feels beautiful or special, you stand taller, you smile more, you reconnect with the version of yourself that once loved to dress up, not for the world, but for the joy of it. One of our viewers, Irene from California, shared this with me. "I stopped wearing jewelry after my husband passed. It felt silly without anyone to notice. But after watching one of our older videos, she decided to wear her favorite silver locket again, just to her book club." She said, "I hadn't even sat down before a friend said, 'You look radiant today.' It wasn't the necklace. It was the way I felt wearing it." That moment stayed with her. Now she wears a scarf or earrings every time she leaves the house, not because she's dressing up for others, but because it helps her reconnect with herself. That's the point. Accessories aren't clutter. They're character. They tell a story. They add layers of beauty, history, and mood to even the simplest outfit. A soft scarf near the neck draws the eye upward and softens the neckline. A pair of light pearl studs brightens the face without saying a word. A brooch on your lapel says, "This is who I am, and I'm not fading quietly." So let me ask you, what's one accessory that always makes you feel more you? Is it something passed down, or something new you picked out just for yourself? You don't need a drawer full of pieces, just one or two that make you feel centered, lovely, and visible. Because when you choose to accessorize, even just a little, you remind yourself and the world that you haven't disappeared. And now that we've explored all 5 style mistakes, let's take a moment to bring it all together and talk about what really makes a woman unforgettable at any age. So there you have it, 5 style mistakes that don't come from getting older, but from forgetting how much power small choices still hold. These aren't about age. They're about awareness. Because style after 60 isn't about dressing younger. It's about dressing with intention, confidence, and joy. Let me ask you, which one of these habits have you slipped into? And what's one change you're ready to try this week? Here's your mini challenge. Wear one new piece, a scarf, a blazer, a better pair of shoes, and see how it shifts your energy. Coming up next, we'll explore the most flattering colors for silver hair and which shades might be aging you without you even realizing it.